Hi again. If you're watching on YouTube, this is recorded live over on Ustream TV. The channel is Monkey Island Madness. I stream on Mondays at 1 o'clock Eastern. You can come over and chat with the ladies in the chat. They're fun. They're always fun. So, yeah, if you can, come over and watch a live stream. It's fun. But I appreciate you stopping by. And today I'm going to show you how I made this little book. The other day when I was doing my Zentangle show, I had showed this little book that I had made of all the different patterns and the fold out. And some of the ladies wanted to know how I made it. So I'm going to just quickly show you how I do this. And I did no preparation, so when I'm measuring and cutting and stuff like that, don't have a cow, because that's what it's all about. And you have a speed up button. Use it. So on this one, I obviously drew the design before I had it all measured out, and then I drew the design, and then I scored it, cut it, and folded it. And Jan, I'm not going to say anything about that. So that's how the design got on here. I'm going to show you how to make just a blank one, and then you can decorate it any way you want. You can collage on it, you can paint on it, you can stencil on it, whatever you want. I happen to Zentangle this one. And then I have a second one, which I actually like better. I think the pattern, I like the pattern better. I think I did a better job with measurement and everything. And this one is not assembled. So you can kind of see what it's like before it's folded and assembled. But I'm going to start with a blank sheet of paper. Well, okay, one of them just said, I guess I said, I don't think about what I say sometimes. Sorry, guys. Dee Dee is so nice, and she says, don't email me. Well, you're never going to email me because you don't have my email address, and I don't read email anyway. So she's really nice like that. I say stupid stuff like, don't have a cow. Like, get a hold of yourself. Will I have a written tutorial for you? Of course, Eileen. Yeah. You hold your breath and wait for that. I'm sure that'll happen sometime real soon. You guys, I haven't arted in so long. Honestly, I feel like I am having creative withdrawal because I really have not arted in forever. I've had company and yeah. So the way I start this, and I'm going to make it this exact same size, but you can make it any size you want, and you can put anything anything you want in it. Like this, I just cut up a bunch of vellum. This was probably leftover vellum. I don't know what I'll do with it. Someday I may get in the mood to do something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to use these exact same measurements. And I think the way I determined the measurements for this one is I had the idea that I wanted a little book that I could put all my Zentangle patterns in. And I don't know why I decided to do the accordion fold out. I don't know why I decided that, because I could just as easily done them on this size page and just put them in the book. So I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. Who knows? But anyway, I will use this exact same measurement. And the overall size is, after it's folded and glued and everything, it is, get my glasses on because I can't see with them, can't see without them. This is 2.5 inches wide, about 3 inches high. Yeah, 2.5 by 3. That's what we're going with. Yeah, 2.5 by 3. That's what we're going with. And I'm sure that was dictated by the size of the sheets that I wanted to put into it. So when you're planning on doing this, if you know what you're going to put in it, where in this case, this I did, these were 1-inch squares. So yeah, this is what dictated that. So I could get out my paper cutter, but I'm not gonna. So, oh, my little one. Wait. 357. Okay, never mind. All right, so I'm gonna cut this the 3-inch way first. Because what did I end up saying? I'm just deciding how I can get the most out. Okay, it makes more sense if I'm going to make multiple of these to do the 6.5-inch measurement this way and the 3-inch this way, and I'll get 3 out. Correct? Correct. That's 6.5 inches. Okay, so that's going to be my cut, and I'm going to just, and it may not be exact. I'm not going to freak about it. And this is generally how I cut my paper. You guys get out your paper cutters. I don't want to get mine out. They're a pain in the neck. If I was going to do a bunch, I'd probably get it out. And the reason I turn the ruler upside down is that little amount of cork allows you to get your blade down under, and you'll get goofy cuts. So I turn it upside down, make sure the metal is right on the paper. Okay? I'm going to check myself because I don't want to get down the road a little bit and go, oh, you dope, that's not even straight. I think it's good. All right, so it's 6.5 inch long. It's just over 3. I'm going to do 3 1/16 because that's what this one is, and why not? But you can do it 3. I'll do it 3 even. What the heck? No, I'm going to do it 16th because if I don't get that other cut perfect, then I got a bunch of trimming to do. So, don't want to do that. All right, so I'm going to get 3 out of 1 sheet of paper. And I know I could go to 6 1/8, but it's my OCD, right, Eileen? That nasty OCD that makes me check and double check. All right, and now I could go ahead and cut these, but because I'm not going to decorate them, I mean, I suppose I could, but before I put the score marks on here, I would go ahead and do the design at this point. I would go ahead and cut them out. Oh, well, I'll do it the way I would do it. All right. I won't confuse the issue. And I'll tell you what I was going to do in just a second. All right, there's my 3 covers from my little book. And all I'm using is about, I'm going to guess 90 pound. It's not 110 pound for sure. This might be about 90 pound cardstock. I know, Jen, isn't that true that when you go that extra 16th, like everything freaks out? I don't know. I'm a math freak, so I don't care. Yeah, I like 16ths. 16th inches have feelings too, you know. Anyway, so the way this wraps around, I'm just showing you, is you're going to end up, you would go ahead and decorate this now. If I wanted another Zentangle, you know, if I wanted the cover Zentangle like this, I would go ahead and do that right now before I did anything else. But I'm not going to take the time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and mark where my score lines are going to be. Okay, it wraps around like this, just like a matchbook cover. Okay, so my scores are going to be at 1/2 inch up, another 1/2 inch up. The next score is at 2.5 inch, and then a 1/2 inch, and then the rest should be 2.5 inches remaining. And lo and behold, it is. So there you go. All right, you guys would also, you're going to find out how totally unconventional I am. You guys would go ahead and get out your scoreboards and all that junk. I don't do that. I turn my X-Acto upside down, line this up like I was going to cut it, and just barely drag this to mark into the fibers. That's all I do. That's how I score stuff. And the thing I like about it is you get a nice crisp fold. You don't get that 16th inch wad of paper. This is going to give you the nicest, crispest fold ever. And all you're doing, I mean, I'm literally just barely dragging this across. Okay? Now I can feel the scores on there. You guys probably can't see them. I barely marked into those fibers. And then go ahead and make the crisp. And I could have pushed a little bit harder on that one. And I can already tell I don't like this paper, but oh well. Okay? Fold. Fold. And all I'm using to, you guys would use a bone folder, and I have one. I'm just using a brayer tool, or a burnishing tool. And you don't need one of these. Use your bone folder. Use a pencil. Use whatever you've got. Alright, you guys. There's your cover. How easy is that? Can you see? All it is wrapped around. Okay? Easy. You gave your scoreboard to Orla? Yeah, I don't use a scoreboard. I just use the back of my X-Acto. It works perfect. Okay. Now, if I was just going to fill this with like this sheets of paper, I would cut them 2.5 inches wide, 3 inches down, however many would fit in the book. Like this vellum, I can't even imagine how many sheets are in there. And I'm not going to bind this until after I finish the pages, okay? But yeah, just cut your pages 2.5 by 3.5. Okay, keep in mind that on the 2.5 inch width measurement, you're going to lose a 1/2 inch for the binding. Okay, you always have to take that into account, that you lose that 1/2 inch. So in fact, your image area is 2 inches by 3 inches. I don't even use it for envelopes, Carrie. I just cut the envelopes with an X-Acto. And then figure out how many pages You know, and every paper that you put in here is going to be different. So I can't tell you cut 100 sheets, or yeah, because vellum's so much thinner than cardstock. So that's just kind of a wait and see sort of thing. Just start cutting and see at what point your little book is filled up. Okay. Now for these little doodads, and believe me, I did this a long time ago, so I don't know exactly. But probably if I had to do, well, I don't know if I would do it different. Because there's so many of them, I probably wouldn't do it just like a book. I mean, do you guys want to see how to do this accordion fold? It's not hard, really. Where's that big ruler? That's why I got this out. Okay. And for me, it's not hard to find a sheet of paper this large. You guys may have a little bit more difficulty finding a sheet of 16.5-inch decent quality stock, you know. But so what I would do now, I just set that off to the side. Hang on, I'm moistening my palette. Because your throat does get dry when you do this stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab this sheet of paper. And remember, our height is 3 inches. So what I would do here, and I can get, let's see, this book has 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5. So, it might take me a couple of these sheets because this obviously isn't wide enough this way, so I have to use the length for the 16.5 inches. So there's 3. Oops, that's the blue one. I'll get the, where's the other one? There it is. I'll get 4 sheets out of this. And I do have a great big cutting mat that I could go cut this all at once. I'm not gonna, because I don't care that much. So I'll give myself little tick marks going down the sheet. And I'll cut out the strips. And then I'll have to use another sheet. This is riveting TV, right? Are any of you guys Gilmore Girl fans? Did you watch the reunion show? Just curious. Oh, they're talking about metric measurement. Ugh. Yeah, I don't do metric. Thanks anyway. I don't remember who said they wanted to see this little book. So, I think it was Bunny. The real Bunny, not Heather Bunny, real Bunny. There's one strip, 3 inches long. See, and you'd have a problem cutting this in your paper cutter anyway, unless you have an industrial size one. This cut that I just made is not exactly straight. I don't care. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, you're not a Gilmore Girls fan. I wasn't either, but I watched it and I ended up loving it, which is crazy because I'm not a sitcom person. Okay, we're getting close. Okay, so I ended up with 4 strips, and I think I said I needed 5. We're not going to worry about it. Okay. These little squares, or each little sheet actually, is 2 inches. So on one end of this, I need a 1/2 inch for the binding, right? Because half of it is a 1/2 inch is not going to show. And then every 2 inches, I will have a fold. Okay, if you're super anal, you could get out the scoreboard and score this, and I suppose I should have, considering I'm on TV. I'm not on TV. What am I talking about? All right, what happened, drug addict? Eight. Huh. Hang on, gotta check my... You watched the Gilmore Girls and were disappointed. I have to say, the bulk of the show, I didn't like. I liked the ending. All right, so I'm at 16.5. Oh, I cut it. I didn't cut it. That's what I didn't do. Drug addict. Okay, here's how we're gonna... Eileen probably does have an industrial trimmer out in her warehouse where she ships all the products that she tells us to buy. Well, if you don't have one, you probably want one, and you should order one this afternoon. Okay? I'm talking to Eileen about her getting an industrial strength. Okay, you guys, I didn't cut off the length of this, so I'll just remeasure it. She says she doesn't. Exactly. Who believes that? Who believes it? I'm talking to these nutcases in chat in case you're wondering. They're kind of bugging Eileen about her industrial strength trimmer. I don't recommend you do this at home. I'm just scoring where I want to cut that off. Don't cut against your plastic rulers. You'll nick them and you'll hate yourself forever. I promise you. I've done it 1,000 times. Alright, now I got it cut and trimmed to the right length. Okay? Now, I'm just going to trust that my cut is straight and I'm just going to fold it. Accordion. It'll be good enough for government work. But I could go through and score this and all that junk. I'm just not doing it. Just have to be a little careful. Try and keep the edge even. It'll work. It'll be fine. Hi, Carrie Ann. And this paper that I'm using is printed on. It was a advertising layout for the Denver Post. But it's a nice big size sheet of paper, so I use it. Okay, and I'm just accordion folding this back and forth, back and forth. That's all I'm doing. And I don't worry about the printing. And that's why you could use anything. I mean, you could use any sheet that's big enough, even if it's printed on or garbage or whatever, because I'm going to glue the patterns on. It's going to be covered anyway, so. And I lost some of my measurement in the folds, so, or I cut it wrong, who knows. There's the accordion, a fold sheet. Now I would take, you know, and I don't know what you're going to use your books for, but these are in alphabetical order according to my Zentangle book. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and cut them apart and show you how I would assemble that. I'm OCD about everything except folding. No, you have no clue. I'm not OCD. You think I am, but I'm really not about most things. I'm going to go ahead and cut them. I know these blocks are 1 inch, so I know I'm going 3 inches up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. So that'll work. Because I'm going to have to piece these together. And see, this one, it's only 2, so I'll take 1 inch off the next sheet to add to these. All right, so there is my patterns. Well, see, it does, Jen. Your scoreboard is going to lose paper as well. But the thing is, I'm not going to worry about it because if I need to add on to this, it's going to be in the binding, so who cares anyway? Back with a cappuccino. Nobody brought me any. I didn't measure that right. Again. Oh! You guys must have me on nerves or something. Nope, 16 and a half. That's 15. Yeah, see, I was losing it in the folds. It's all right. It's all good. You can't sweat the small stuff. But that fold is not right. How the heck did I do that? I'm going to refold it. I'm refolding. And I'm going to paste these on top anyway, so, yeah, won't be a problem. I guess I could. Did I get that one crooked? Nope, I didn't. This is a fine demo, huh? I can hardly wait to see what YouTube people write about this. Your loopy calmed down? Yay! I love when the loopy calms down. Lately at Dee Dee's, it has been horrible, you guys. I just, it makes me so cuckoo. Because I look forward to Dee Dee on Monday morning. I mean, I can't tell you. I so look forward to that. And then it bugs me. Alright, I think I've got it this time. I don't know if I do or not. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. That'll work, I think. I think. If I didn't goof up again, if I goofed up again, I'm throwing this away and going on to Plan B, whatever Plan B is, which I don't have one of those. 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. Yeah, the folds are just a little goofy, girls. No big deal. We're going to make it work. This is for demonstration only. Okay? So what I would do now is take my first patterns, and if you're anal like me, which Eileen will remind you that I am, cut out the patterns into 2-inch squares, 2 across, 3 down, and this, I think I was off camera, and I'm sorry about that. I will paste this right on that page. Alright, so let's just do it. I could use double-sided tape. I could use glue. I could use matte medium. You can use anything. This is just my glue book. I'm going to go ahead and use Elmer's Extreme. I like this, and it sticks well, so I'm all about that. So just do it my glue book. Glue it on the page, right at the fold. I use my folds as the fold and the edge of the sheet to get it as straight as possible. I'm not going to worry too much. I know Eileen thinks I will, but I won't. Yeah, I sent Carrie one of my glue books because I get tons of these. I wish they'd quit sending them, but anyway. Yeah, I just use them for glue books. I don't really read them. I mean, look at what you have to read. Are you kidding me? I don't think so. Anyway, so there, my first little piece is glued onto my book, and this right here is going to be the binding. And then they'll all fold out. So the next one is the next 2. And copiers don't copy edge to edge like you can draw on paper. So on this one, I might have lost a little bit at the top. I can go back and write those in if I want. Otherwise, I'm not going to worry about it. You guys can use phone books or magazines or anything for a glue book like this. And if the pages stick together, who cares? All right. Second page done. Now I'm going to start seeing where my folds are goofed up. I'll just refold it. I don't care. Okay, so we got 2 pages now. And I'm just going to continue this until all of these pages of designs are used up. And then you have a fun, ready to go Zentangle pattern book. Oh, almost had glue stick on the floor. Okay, now if this was just me, I would go ahead and cut all these, put them in order, and then just glue stick, glue stick, glue stick. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing it piece by piece like I'm showing you here. I would go into production line mode. Bam! Before I stick that down good, I make sure that the fold is going to work. The edges are good. Slowly, slowly, the book is coming together. And before all this sticks real good, I'm going to go ahead and burnish it down, so I don't have bubbles and stuff, because I don't want to have to go back and repair it later. See this corner? I just pulled it up, so now I got to go back in and repair that. I don't like having to do that. All right. Oh, to speed this up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and trim these like I would do if you guys weren't here. Okay. And I'm not going to finish this whole book, you guys. I'm going to, just like give you an idea, because at this point, you figured out how this is all going to go together, right? And Eileen, I know this will surprise you, but even if this got out of alphabetical order, I really wouldn't freak out. I know that's hard for you to believe, but it is the truth. I'd maybe just freak out a little, not a lot. Okay, I'm gluing off camera here so I can move just a little bit faster. I gotta wake you guys up so I can hopefully be on camera here. And if I find that it's a little bit, because the cuts aren't going to be straight. I mean, this is depending on so much stuff working absolutely perfectly. I make adjustments as I go. Okay. And Eileen, honestly, if I was totally anal, what I would do is actually redraw all of these totally perfect. I'm not that anal yet. I do love that Elmer's glue stick, though. I really, really do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and refold this here. Yeah, you hide your mistakes with something. And again, I mean, honestly, this is like just a little design book to take to the couch or take to the doctor's office or something. I'm not going to sell this. It's just for my own convenience. Oh my God, you need OCD help. I am freaking poor Eileen out right now. The girl is down in Boca Raton having heart attacks. Okay, now I'm getting dirty fingers and I'm leaving my fingerprints on stuff. Ugh. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. So at this point now it's moving pretty darn quick. You know, if I cut all ahead and all that, it starts going pretty quick. So you can see it start taking shape now. Yep, that's not straight. So that I'm going to fix right now. And I've refolded this now a few times, so you kind of get the idea. Just work with it as you go. It's all good. It'll work. Did I almost say that? Oh! And I'm proud of myself on not saying that stuff, Eileen. That is, however, something I might say. Oh well. Oh well, oh well. All right, here's the last one for the first page. Okay, and it's hung over a little bit. That's just from the folds. I'm not going to worry about it because when I go ahead and do the back side, there'll be something there to glue to. So I'm just not going to worry about it. Right? Right. The problem is if it doesn't fit my fold. But it's going to fit my fold perfect. So my plan came together. Okay? That's what I should warn Carrie, is that this might be a PG stream. Sometimes it might be an R stream. But for right now, we're going with PG. So the first accordion folded page is ready to go. Now I'm going to flip it over. And if you have some edges sticking out, you're going to have to go back and fix that later. But it's no big deal. You can do it. You can do it. I'll go ahead and, since I've already got these cut, I'll go ahead and do the rest of these. And then I'll show you ultimately how the whole book assembles and goes into the folder. But I'm not going to do that because I am going to go ahead and finish it. And since I went ahead and made the copies and all this stuff, I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one away. So I don't have random.org or any of that stuff, and I'm not going to get it. But I'll figure out a way to give it away to one of you guys if you want it. Because starting on this side, I've only got 4 pages that are the 3 inches. So I'm going to have to start piecing it a little bit, but I'm cool with that too. It's all good. which it looks like I might end up just about right because Jean comes on. Where is that little Jean? You know what? You guys, did she go take a nap? Somebody better start waking her up right now. Now you're going to have to just start working with it if you end up doing something like this. If you're just going to draw on the pages or something, it doesn't matter. But I will go ahead and finish this whole book. I don't know when. I've got the most busiest 2 weeks, you guys. I probably will not be streaming for the next 2 weeks. Well, I'm pretty certain I will not, unless something drastic changes. I'm going to be going to North Carolina, the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So I won't be home to stream. And I'm not sure how long we're going to be gone. I mean, I know 1 week for certain, probably into the second week and possibly into the third. I just don't know. But I'll be on Twitter and stuff. But I won't be home where I can stream. So, yeah, for the next 2 weeks for sure. Unless, of course, plans change drastically. And with all the illness I'm dealing with right now in my family, plans could change. But right now, that's the plan, is that we will be going to North Carolina for a couple weeks, help Robert's daughter move. And honestly, we have earned a vacation. So, yeah, I'm very much a homebody, but I'm at the point where I'm excited to maybe see some different scenery. I'm just cleaning up some stuff where my fingers got it dirty. Yep, the Outer Banks. So now you can see it coming together. That one, I'm tickled because that fold is coming out right where I wanted it. So it looks like all the spacing and everything is coming together just fine. If it's a little goofy, I'll work with it. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like it's coming just fine. This one is being a little pain in the butt. I might have to trim it off. In fact, I think I'm gonna. Because it's just being a pain, and I don't need a pain in my life. I got enough pains in my life. A little bit less than 1/16 of an inch isn't going to hurt a thing. And now it'll get out of the fold and quit being a pain. Oh, she set 2 alarms so she could get her nap in. You go, Jean. I can't nap. Sometimes I do, but boy, do I regret it later. So I really, really try not to do the nap thing. See how I'm just working with it now to make sure everything's laying nice and flat. And that it's going to go together okay, and I'm not going to have a problem. See, this one's sticking out on the edge a little bit. I'll just trim that off. There's nothing there important. I can trim that off very nicely. Now, I don't want to trim into the fold, or my book will fall apart. So you kind of got to use your head a little bit. Okay, now, when I go to put this into the cover, there's going to be space where all these folded pages are that I'm going to have to fill up. All I did was cut a bunch of paper 1/2 inch wide, 3 inches long, glued it together to fill in the binding. That's all I did. And I don't know if it was, you know, it should be like, there'd be like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. There's literally 21 sheets of paper between there, but I probably would use cardstock, and I would just cut enough to fill in that much space, however much it took. Okay, it's a little over a 1/16 of an inch, so I would say 1/8 of an inch, however much thickness it would take for 1/8 of an inch, and I would just fill that much of the binding with 8 strips of paper, glue it together, so that when this is glued in, this folds out. Okay, I need somebody to tell me if that explanation made sense. Okay, and I glued this, when I glued it together, I started at the back and worked forward, because this last one here gets glued to that stack of paper, so that this flap here ends up with just a little tiny bit of glue on the edge, so it folds together and stays shut like a matchbook. All right, now if I've confused y'all, tell me now. If you have questions, ask me now. But I will go ahead and finish the rest of these sheets. See, on this one, I'll use the 2 from here, and then go ahead and use the 3rd one from there. So, and just keep cutting like that. Say it again a few times. You are in the dark about the binding. Okay, I'm going to show you. All right, this is just leftover, and it's cardstock. So, I'm going to cut it a 1/2 inch wide, because this is a 1/2 inch high. Okay, I'm going to take this out. This is a 1/2 inch high. This is the binding edge right here. 1/2 inch high. So I'm going to cut these strips 1/2 inch. And I can't actually put it together for you until I get all the pages put together. That's why, otherwise I'd just bind this bad boy and say, let's get on down the road, but I can't do that. So I'll cut the 1/2 inch strips. Because I'm using this as filler, Jen, maybe that's what I didn't make clear, is that I'm actually using paper as filler. I mean, if you could think of something better, you could use that. I mean, but I'm just using these strips, this paper, as filler to fill up the amount of space that is being taken up. See on this one how there's all that paper there that I glued in? But see how those are just strips from, let's see, the edge of here over to here. That's just strips of paper to fill in where all these accordion fold sheets have to fit in to fold back up. Okay, you're confused as to what it actually attaches to. Okay, I could show you that. It's going to attach itself to the cover. Okay. It all just glues together at the end of the day. Okay. The book itself, we've measured this 100 times, you'd think I'd remember, is 3 inches. So I'm going to cut these strips 3 inches. And because I'll start from here. And this I maybe would get a paper cutter out for, I don't know. I might. But I'm going to cut these 1, 2, 3, and I'm not even going to I'm just going to use the measurements on these this cutting mat, even though it's not very accurate. Okay, that last one is not 3 inches. So what I would do is I would take these little strips and I would glue them together. Okay? Okay, the way the pages are bound to the spine, literally. These I would just glue together after I figured out, and I would make them, say, 1/8 of an inch thick, right? You could use double-sided tape. I think on this one I just use glue. I really do. But double-sided tape would work good too. I would actually add the filler right back here. Okay? Then the very last page is glued on to that. And then I would add more filler, my 1/8 inch filler. Glue the next page onto that. Add the filler. Glue the next page on to that. So there's 1/8 of an inch filler that I just use cardstock on in between each of the pages, and they're all either double-sided tape or glued. I mean, I just use probably Aleene's Tacky is probably what I use, just because it's what I have and it's sitting here. And then take a clamp, any kind of clamp. Everybody has clamps, right? And after I get everything glued, I would just clamp it here on the end. But put a good amount of glue here on the bottom. Maybe next time I'll go ahead and finish it. The lasagna binding technique. Okay, Mac, I like that. Hi, by the way. Yeah, I would put glue on this back edge, on this bottom edge, and it's all just glued. Just stick the pages in there and call it done. I might have to show you on the next stream exactly how it's done. I'll get all the pieces put back together, and then I'll actually bind it on there. But then I just clamped it shut, you know, like make sure everything's shoved down into this really, really well, because this is really what's holding it here. It's kind of like how you make a pad of paper or perfect bind a book. You know, have you guys ever seen how a book is bound? There's glue on the binding back here. Yeah, it's just painted on. And the pages are cut and sit in that glue. And then you have to set it aside and let it dry. And then I don't glue this front flap except for a hair or a line, and I guess you could double side tape this too, but I just did a line of glue right here along this folded edge, so that when it shuts, and this one I've torn off, but I'll just show you on this one since it's right here. I think I have some Aleene's Tacky glue right here. I'll go ahead and fix this one. Okay. So I would take, hang on, I gotta put my glasses on, can't see. I'll tell you in just a second, Sarah. Okay. Just run a bead of glue right there along the edge. And I'm going to spread it around a little bit. And I don't care where that glue goes. I mean, anything, it's just going to help hold it together better anyway. Yeah. I just happen to have that toothpick. And then just glue that back up. And now when I'm not going to do it right now because since I just glued that, but then the top of this is still open so that I can fold this in like a flap. You're going to have to watch the whole thing. I'm not sure that I described it perfectly. But the book itself is 2.5 inches wide. Okay, half an inch. I'm sorry, half an inch is for the actual binding. The actual sheet or the image area of the sheet is 2 inches. Okay, it's 3 inches top to bottom. And the cover is 6.5 inches long before it's folded. Okay. You fold it at 1/2 inch, fold it again at 1/2 inch, fold, go over 2.5 inches. I'm going to double check that. 2.5 inches, yes. Fold, 1/2 inch, and then there'll be 2.5 inches here. So it's just like a little box, really. And you can make, I'm going to have to dig them out somewhere around here. I've made little Matchbox books where this is actually stapled and the flap tucks in, and then you can fit a bunch of sheets in there that have little art, sayings, quotes, whatever. And if you don't want to do the accordion fold, I mean, I don't know what made me do the accordion fold, but I kind of like it because I can see a bunch of designs at once. I like that. But just do it regular sheets of paper. Where did the top of that go? I lost. There it is. Okay. You can just cut sheets 2.5 by 3 and do it the same way. Get a nice clean edge on one side, put your glue in there, shove those in, and glue it at the back. Glue up 1/2 inch on the back side because your back page is going to end up holding it together. Okay? Just stick them in there, get them good and tight, you know, tamp them down like this into the glue, and then you have a little book of just paper. And there's actually glue you can buy for this. You know, you could even get the glue that you can tear out, like they do for pads of paper or whatever. Or cassette tapes, exactly. I don't think I designed this after a cassette tape, but you get the idea. And I've never seen anybody do this before, but I don't think it's original with me. Okay, Eileen, you need to give me back the top to my glue bottle so I can put it away. You quit jacking with me. I don't have patience for that. I'm so jacking with her. What did I do with the top to my glue bottle? There it is. You guys are probably screaming, on your left, look on your left. I think Matchbooks still exist, Mac. I haven't had them in forever, but yeah, I have to believe that they still exist. But I've done them with little artwork in them and like a freeload giveaway. I know I have some downstairs. Oh, and there's another cool thing you can do with the matches in a box. Turn it into a little chest of drawers. That's really cute. I've done that. I'll have to get that out and show you guys and show you how to do that. Because I explain things so wonderfully, of course you'd want me to. Duh. So, any questions about the little book and its dimensions and how you put it together? It honestly is just glued together. This is hard as a brick down here because there's so much glue in it. And then there's this many pages that come out of it. Well, the filler comes in because you've got the thickness of all these folded sheets, Jen, that you've got to accommodate. But if you do just actual sheets of paper, you don't have to put that filler in. Okay, I'll do it all again. And you'll miss Jean's stream, and you don't want to miss Jean's stream. What are you talking about, you knuckleheads? And then be careful when you fold it all back together that you don't get two pages together, because then it doesn't work right. So I guess you have to be pretty anal like me to do something like this. Right, Eileen? There you go. All put back together. But really, you're just filling in where all those folded sheets are, Jen. Yeah, it would be way too thick, and it would be floppy, and it wouldn't be any fun. It'd be ugly. You wouldn't even want it if you did that, if you put fillers in with individual pieces. Yeah, you got to do the fillers to accommodate all these folded pages. That's why you're even filling it. But then when it's all put together, it's nice and compact, and honestly, you can throw this in your purse. And I can't mess with this one too much because I just put glue on it. We have OCD Jen arguing with OCD Janet. You know what? I kind of think that if Jen and I ever got together in real life, it would be the funnest time ever. And we would have people laughing. Oh yeah, the individual pages would stay together, Jen. You just have to use adequate glue. I mean, really. And there is glues that you can do that. It's how a pad of paper stays together, Jen. You know, they paint that glue on the edge, and then the pages, you can tear the pages off. Would just use Aleene's or some PVC glue. PVA. PVA, yeah, you don't want to use PVC glue because that's for your pipes. I'm killing myself right now. Yeah, I would love to see if Jen and I ever got together. I think it'd be a ripper on time. We could build things that have 16th of an inch in them. But yeah, the individual pages will stay together. If you want me to do an experiment, I'll do an experiment, Jen. You gonna try it and prove your point? Okay. PVC. I know. Leave it to me. Dee Dee tried to make, oh, I've done pads of paper like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. The thing is, when you do the individual sheets of paper, honestly, you have to use adequate glue. But the trick is, you've got to have that paper totally jogged to one edge. I mean, you might have to clamp that or whatever. But when you glue this in, that paper has to be jogged down. And then adequate glue in there. I mean, really. But it will work. I've done pads of, I mean, yeah, well, how do you think they sell pads of paper? 4 months? And you're going to do it? Are you coming to Boca Raton? There you go. Eileen has a solution for Jen's and my argument about whether or not it will work. I will have it by the next time, either Jen's stream or I stream. She says take a pad of paper, don't take it apart, but cut the pad down to size and shove it in a matchbook. That's how Eileen does stuff. Only if it, in Eileen's world, she would probably hire somebody to do it out in her warehouse. The pages won't open as easily. Well, you're not going to glue them up the whole ½ an inch, Jen. You're not. You're going to have to, yeah, you're going to have to leave, oh, I don't know, little bit at the top, so as you flip through, I mean, it's going to be a tight binding, but keep in mind too that you can make this any size. This does not have to be 2.5 by 3.5. Just come up with your measurements so that your two ends are the same measurement. You have this fold up here on a bigger book. You would definitely want more like an inch rather than a half an inch. You could use rubber cement. Rubber cement would release the pages, though, Carrie Ann. But rubber cement would work if you have application where you wanted to tear the pages out. Rubber cement has the same properties as paste they use for pads of paper. So, anyway. Yeah, I'm not saying this is for everybody. Honestly, I did this because somebody who saw my little design book wanted to see how to make them. I wouldn't recommend that everybody sit around and make these things. I mean, you have to be cuckoo in the head. Right? Yeah. So that describes me more than adequately. Yeah, cuckoo in the head. They are cute, though. I mean, you have to admit, you could have a whole stack of these. But anyway, I am going to finish this, and I will be giving it away when it's done. Paper pads paper is thinner than the paper we use. Any thicker paper would come apart. I guess I could try it with different papers, Jen. I think I could probably prove you wrong. You can pick the papers you like. You guys are cuckoo, that's for sure. Yeah, paper pads, paper is thinner than the paper we use. I don't know. See how you guys measure your papers in GSM, and I would have to look up the equivalent of GSM versus the way we measure paper, which is most commonly pounds. So I don't know what 20 pound, the equivalent of GSM would be. Alright, Thursday night, I am definitely going to try and make it to your stream, Jen. And you can show me how absolutely cuckoo I am. I'm going to try it, though, Jen. I mean, I don't want to put crap out there. If people can't do it, I don't want them thinking they can. You know, that would be stupid of me, wouldn't it? Because then people would start emailing me, and I'd have to go around like Dee Dee and say, don't email me. But really, don't email me. Exactly, Josie. I think Eileen should get on and show us exactly how it needs to get done. Because I want it done right. Because I'm just OCD enough that I want it done right. Right? Eileen, you can do that? When are you on? You want to come on and do it after Jean today? Thanks, Jen. Jen likes the book. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, I may be back here in a day or so saying, hey, don't pay any attention to what I told you yesterday, because Jen in Australia proved me wrong. That could happen. It really could. I'm just finishing up cutting these little streamer things that I'm going to use for filler. I will too, Jen. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first to say, dang, Jen was right. That woman is one smart woman. I'll be the first one to admit that. So anyway, YouTube viewers, thank you very much. Ustream viewers, stay here. I'm just going to stop the recording and name this. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks again.